Do you sometimes just feel like such a loser? Do you sometimes feel like you just don't fit into the Final Fantasy XIV community? Fear not, because Dannydoko is gonna teach you how to make an adventure portrait so perfect, so pristine, that any venue you go to, you're gonna have bunny girls swarming you like a, But before I can teach you the ways and arts of adventure portrait creation, I must bring you into the fields first. Starting off by judging random strangers' adventure portraits without them knowing. So get ready, Limza, I'm coming! Starting off with Saya Nya. So first off, you can obviously see they're flexing their top clear in the background, which honestly, you have to have a little bit of respect for that, you know? This is a good lesson. Make sure you're flexing in your adventure portrait. Come on, you don't want to look like a little fraud, like some little clown in here, okay? Then they got the nice Beast Tribe aesthetics in the background, the little flowers, and then them falling out of the sky, which honestly, I love this. This is an example of a great adventure portrait. Although I don't know what hashtag cream queen means. Another thing you can do with your adventure portrait is trying to give it a distinct look based on the race of your character. Now, obviously, we can tell this is a Lalafell. And no, not because it says potato in the adventure portrait 4 times, but because the astrologian weapon is almost bigger than them. You see, we know Zachary Ritz here is a Lalafell, solely based off of his search info. Look into my eyes and I will steal your soul? Oh, come on, I'm not that gullible. Uh-oh. Now, this is a great way to make an adventure portrait look nice without having a bunch of achievements just glued onto it. No ultimates, no deep dungeons, no crazy things. They even got the casual player tag on. But it looks nice because it all follows a general aesthetic. Tree hugger. Now, following that, we got this little gamer saying, "Found my wife. She's a certified war criminal. Love you, wife." By Juice Man OJ. Alright gamers, now that we looked at some adventure portraits, it's time to get into the adventure portrait making. So first and foremost, the one thing that I like to do whenever I'm figuring out how to make my adventure portrait is I look through all the different plate designs. There's a ton of different plate designs you can get in Final Fantasy XIV, some of which that are actually pretty big achievements. Take Big Fish for example. I mean that is a brutal achievement to get. Also, if anyone's interested in me posting a Big Fish journey kind of a video thing, you know, let me know in the comments. That could be kind of funny. Anyways, you also have plate designs for, you know, ultimate clears, world-class troller, Mahjong master, you know, all these different kind of things you can do. And then there's easier ones like island sanctuaries or PvP or doing various raid series. So what I like to do is I like to find a plate design I like, and then I kind of theme everything around it. So once you get a nice plate design going, now you need a spicy, saucy little picture of your sweet warrior of light. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I actually really have no idea how to use the lighting system in this game. It's a 4th dimensional adaptation, but I'm gonna try my best to explain how it works. Start with the ambient lighting. The ambient lighting is pretty simple. It's kind of like your key lighting in a 3-point setting, and it's also fairly faint depending on how much you turn up that little knob here. The top bar just changes the amount of exposure it has, and the other 3 bars are your RGB, which are just your colors, standing for red, green, and blue. The directional lighting is pretty much the exact same, except it's the lighting that's casting down on your character. And the top 4 sliders in the directional lighting basically work the exact same as they do in the ambient lighting. The difference comes with the last 2 sliders. The first one is the placement of this light on a vertical scale. It could go up and around your character or down and around your character. The slider below this does the exact same thing except on a horizontal scale. So think like a gyroscope. Anyways, here's an example of how lighting can really change the way one character looks. So here we have I want my mommy, and on the other side we have
where's my Discord kitten?
Anyways, I also forgot to mention that whenever you open your adventure portrait, a little menu will pop up, and all the settings for lighting are located in your edit portrait menu. Anyways, finishing off the edit portrait section, you also have your design, which is fairly simple. The design tab is specifically for the design of your portrait, so it's your outline, your background, and all of that stuff. It's very simple, so I'm not going to go any more in depth with it. And in both tabs, you also have an FOV slider and a rotation slider, a button to make your character's face the camera, and a button to make your character's eyes look at the camera, and your 3 reset buttons. These are all also really simple, and I'm not really going to go in depth with them either. Anyways, that's pretty much everything in the edit portrait section. Now we move on to the edit plate design. And remember when I told you little gamers about how you look for different plate designs? This is where you do that. You can click this little icon right here, this little paper icon, and this will show you pretty much every every single obtainable design you can get for each tab. So at the very top is where you'd find all your edit plate designs. And then you can also see where you can earn some of them. Some of them are question marks because they're from all sorts of weird different shit, like beast tribes, ultimate raids that you may not have unlocked, some side quests. So you can go in through here and explore what each one of these things do. So now moving on to edit profile. Now listen close. This is very, very complex and scary. So go on, hold my hand, and let's do this together, okay? So at the very top, you change your job. That's it. You change it to whatever you want. You can change it to your current class or job or whichever one you want it to be whenever you switch. I have it set on Fisher because I am because I'm a gamer. You can also switch to a title that you want. So I have Master of the Sea because I am a fisher who is a gamer. You can also add on your playstyles, which you'll see a lot of people who've never done an ultimate raid have ultimate raids on here. So that's kind of how you can tell. And then you have your active hours, which no one actually uses properly. They just try to spell out uwu or LOL. So those fucking idiots don't even know how to use it right. We have the most important part of your adventure portrait. The thing that just adds the little bow tie on top. The nice little wrapping that brings the present together. The icing on the cake. Your edit search comment. You can tell what kind of person anyone is just based off of their search comment alone. So make sure you think real hard about it, okay? Make sure it means something important to you. And don't just put on walk-up/tell and then, you know, saying you're single, or put your significant other's character name in here, or the time you were dating them, because that makes me very sad because I'm alone. And finally, we have privacy settings, which, you know, you don't ever change this. If you set this to friends only or no one, I have no respect for you. You might as well just not fucking exist. You might as well just not exist at all if you don't have an adventure portrait set to everyone. How am I gonna tell who you are if you don't have your Final Fantasy XIV ID set to everyone? It's like not having a real world ID. You're just nobody. So make sure you have this set to everyone. And then last but not least, we have help! So now that we're done with the basics, how do we turn this knowledge into making the perfect adventure portrait? You just show your booty on the camera.